What could bring federal investigators to a quiet suburban home in California, digging up a backyard for evidence of a murder that happened over 2 decades ago? The answer lies in one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in American college history. A case that started with a young woman who simply never made it back to her dorm room. In this video, we're diving deep into the Kristin Smart disappearance, how a 19-year-old college freshman vanished without a trace in 1996, how the investigation was botched from day one, and how 26 years later, detectives, podcast journalists, and a mother who refused to give up finally brought a killer to justice without ever finding the body. It's the Friday before Memorial Day weekend at California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo. The campus is buzzing with that end-of-year energy. Students are celebrating, partying, and ready for summer. 19-year-old Kristin Smart, a freshman with her whole life ahead of her, heads to an off-campus party with friends. She's the kind of person everyone remembers, always smiling, athletic, full of life. That night, she wore a white t-shirt and jeans. By 2 a.m., she was tired and a little drunk, so she started walking back to her dorm. Well, she never made it. Here's where things get chilling. As she was walking to her dorm, she met 2 of her friends, Paul Flores and Cheryl Anderson, who offered to walk Kristin to her dorm. However, Cheryl Anderson's dorm was nearby, so she bid her 2 friends goodbye and left them to continue with their walk. Flores's dorm was in the complete opposite direction of where he was supposedly helping Kristin get home. Nevertheless, he was determined to ensure his friend Kristin gets home safely. The following day, 2 of Kristin's friends, Smith and Sharon, couldn't reach her. They weren't too worried at first. Maybe she had gone home for the holiday weekend. Around Sunday noon, Sharon received a call from Kristin's mother, Denise Smart, claiming she had not seen nor talked to her daughter since Friday. Panic set in. By Monday, she was officially reported missing. And here's the thing that haunted this case for decades. Paul Flores had a black eye when police first interviewed him just days after Kristin disappeared. His story about how he got it? It kept changing. The investigation in 1996 was, to put it mildly, botched. Police didn't seal off Flores's dorm room. They didn't conduct proper searches right away. Evidence that could have solved this case in weeks was lost to time. But something remarkable happened over the next 26 years. This case refused to die. Students at Cal Poly passed down the story like a dark legend. Purple ribbons, Kristin's favorite color, appeared around campus every year on the anniversary of her disappearance. Her face stared out from missing person posters that never came down. Kristin's mom, Denise Smart, became a force of nature. She never stopped pushing, never stopped demanding answers. She turned her grief into action, helping pass legislation to improve how colleges handle missing student cases. Fast forward to 2019. A journalist named Chris Lambert launches a podcast called Your Own Backyard, diving deep into Kristin's case. The podcast goes viral, generating millions of downloads. Suddenly, people who were too scared to talk in 1996 started coming forward. New witnesses emerged. People who had been at that party. People who remembered suspicious behavior. Former students who had information they'd kept quiet for 2 decades. Some out of fear, some because they didn't think anyone was listening anymore. The pressure became unbearable. The San Luis Obispo Sheriff's Office reopened the case with fresh eyes and new technology. In April 2021, which was exactly 25 years after Kristin vanished, the police arrested Paul Flores for murder. They also arrested his father, Ruben Flores, as an accessory, accusing him of helping hide Kristin's body. Investigators believed Kristin's remains had been buried under Ruben's deck in Arroyo Grande, then moved when police started closing in. Cadaver dogs were alerted to the spot. Soil samples showed disturbances, but they never found her body. This created a massive legal challenge. How do you prove murder without a body? The 2022 trial was intense. Prosecutors built their case piece by piece. The suspicious black eye, the fact that Flores' dorm room reeked of cleaning products days after Kristin disappeared, multiple witnesses who saw him acting strangely, forensic evidence of human blood found in his dorm room. 4 women also testified that Flores had sexually assaulted them in the years following Kristin's disappearance, establishing a pattern of predatory behavior. Then there was the Susan Flores tape, a butt dial recording of Paul's mother, where she discussed the case in damning ways with her boyfriend. The defense tried to create reasonable doubt. There was no body, no crime scene, all circumstantial evidence. But here's what they couldn't explain away. Why did Paul Flores' story keep changing? Why the black eye? Why the excessive cleaning? Why did cadaver dogs alert his father's property? On October 18th, 2022, the verdict came down: guilty. Paul Flores was convicted of first-degree murder. The courtroom erupted. Denise Smart collapsed in tears. 26 years of fighting finally validated. Ruben Flores was acquitted of being an accessory, but Paul was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison, without a body, without a conventional crime scene. Justice came from persistence, from a community that wouldn't forget, and from witnesses who finally felt safe enough to speak. The Kristin Smart case reveals something darker about campus culture in the 90s, how sexual assault was overlooked, how women's safety wasn't prioritized, how a young man could become a predator while everyone looked the other way. Today, Kristin's legacy lives on in better policies, better investigations, and better awareness. Her family still hopes to recover her remains someday to give her a proper burial. But they finally have something they've waited 26 years for: answers, accountability, and justice. If you have watched this video so far, then you should consider visiting gotowriters.com, a platform that will connect you with professional writers who can guide you through your thesis and dissertation writing process the right way. No plagiarism, no use of AI, just honest support to help you succeed on your own merits.